Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode... You know what? This isn't a regular episode. This is a very special episode. Because we're taking you back to the year 2003, where the world was blue, everything was wet, and people were wearing skin-tight leather. This is a very special episode. This is an Underworld retrospective. And joining me today is my two very special co-hosts. We have...
I'm here.
And it's me. I'm back, like a vampire. You cannot kill me.
I don't know. There were many vampires that died in this movie.
Listen, with semantics, all right? Like, don't worry about that.
Yeah, the semantics of them being just fucking vampires.
Joining me today, I have Jugular Jonathan and Lazarus Liz. Our very special guest Liz today, she actually pitched this idea, returning for the first time since Replacements 2. Mm-hmm. We're very glad to have her back. I'm very glad that she gave us this idea because we're talking about Underworld today in this very special episode on the eve of the 17th anniversary of the first film.
17 years since this movie came out.
Wow. I can only just do the Owen Wilson. Wow.
17 years this movie has lived rent-free in my head.
Lazarus Liz, I'm using that as my wrestling name as well. I would like for you to know that, and I'm not giving you any royalties. So yeah, I was 16 years old when this movie came out. And this was, I'm talking peak, like, trip pants, fishnet wearing goth kid in the Tuscaloosa heat, all right? And Tampa. This movie, like, revolutionized gothing for us.
Goth for a new age.
Granted, like, what was it with the early 2000s and just blue-hued vampire movies and leather anyway?
The Matrix.
Blade
2.
Underworld.
I mean, Underworld is just a Matrix with monsters.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not wrong. It just seems like the late 90s, early 2000s was this insular bubble of cool.
It was the darkest times. It was the edgiest of times. Everyone's a bloodsucker.
And everyone's extreme.
Extreme leather.
Brother.
And every movie only had one color in the entire film.
No, there was black.
And gray.
And gray, yeah. You're not giving it enough credit. You know, and it wasn't just blue-gray. There was, like, legit gray in there.
Well, black and gray are neutrals.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Art Degree. I forgot.
Oh, yes, I'm being... this is Pedantic Pat talking to you today.
Pat.
So, yeah, we're going to be
Pretentious
talking
Pat.
about Underworld today and just seeing, like, what sort of weird buttfuckery this movie gave us. Because while Liz and I, we're revisiting this movie, I think, Jonathan, this is your first time watching the movie?
Yeah, it was one of those things you always see the commercials on. You always see it on TV on some, like, TNT AMC bullshit.
Jonathan, I have to ask, what was it like seeing the famous floor shooting scene in person for the first time?
Seeing it in context, you know, it's just as badass in the movie as it was in the trailer.
Y'all remember that time that Mythbusters tried to recreate that on TV?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. God. Y'all remember Mythbusters? That shit was great.
A moment of silence for Mythbusters.
From fucking Grant Imahara. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that movie, Underworld that is, in about 10 years. And it holds up in the sense that it does not hold up. In the sense that I knew in the bottom of my dark little Edgar Allan soul when it came out that this is not a good movie. And I loved it. I loved it. Like, I unapologetically loved Reign of Fire, which was a dog shit movie.
Hey, Reign of Fire is low-key one of the best Disney movies.
And it's the only good dragon movie.
Also, fun fact about Reign of Fire is that Matthew McConaughey and Christian Bale beat the shit out of each other for real in that movie.
Yes, I remember reading that. But, like, watching it tonight, and I feel like there were times where I cringed into myself to become this black hole of a person. And it holds up in the sense it's one of my favorite guilty pleasure movies, and I am excited to delve into the mythos of this movie. And then the anime, there's an anime?
There is, I mean, okay, yeah, the movie gets pretty anime at a certain point, but there is an officially licensed I almost said Bloodborne. I'm a little there tonight, ladies and gentlemen. But no, there is an Underworld anime that came out much later after that than what you would think. But man, this movie, like, I don't know about y'all, but I had a good ass time.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, I did too.
Especially watching Jonathan react in real time to this stuff. Like, you get bits and pieces, like waking memories of this stuff coming back to you, and you just look over at Jonathan and you're like, oh yeah, you saw that. Yeah. Where they keeping all those magazines, Jonathan. Clearly you can see.
Oh, trust me. I got notes on where they keep their gun magazines.
Because I just thought it was great that, the whole war between the vampires and the werewolves just kicks off with just like an open air gunfight in a subway.
You know it's going to be lit when you see an 18-foot tall like lichen just get like Naruto ninja starred in the middle of a subway. And the New Yorkers, for the most part, are just pretty, or wherever they are.
Yeah, that's the thing about this movie. Is that half the people are British or trying to be British. All the signs are in Latin, and it's like, I don't know where this movie is happening.
I feel like they just found the ugliest parts of every city and filmed it because they all live in warehouses in the one mansion with nice cars.
Or they just live in this world where the sun exploded and it's just perpetual night, so no one knows where they are anyway.
So Britain, essentially, like any part of Europe.
God, it's some good shit. Also, like, another good bit at the beginning is when the vampires and the werewolves are psyching each other. There's that one werewolf, he's like morphing into his wolf form. He's like all stretching out and bone breaking, and the one vampire's like trying to like flex on him, but like his teeth get slightly longer.
He's like, yeah, what do you think about this, wolf man? I have dental insurance, so I guess it can't be Britain.
So he just gets fucking like his asshole torn open through his mouth.
When Goatsy goes too far.
But yeah, that opening scene of the movie when she's just Batmaning it in the rain with her trench coat for no reason, just flapping in the wind.
And her high heel boots, like,
I knew. And when she leaps down, like, nonchalantly, just strolling, like nobody saw this woman just leap from, the tallest building in this trash town, Trashtopia, wherever they live. And she was like, oh, I'm a death dealer. And 16-year-old me is like, did I just hit puberty again?
For the third time this week. What I would love is that like all of her bones in her leg just like low key broke, and she was just walking it off. Like,
oh, that's a Wolverine thing. Like, yeah, because like X-23 mentions that. She's like, yeah, it's not that I don't. She jumped off a building in Maripur. Don't come at me, comic book fans. I don't remember what it was. Madripoor. She jumps off a building, and she's with Gambit. And she's like, what he doesn't know is that my ankles just instantly shattered and I healed them. So I hope he doesn't try to jump. And I was like, was that what Kate just did? Sorry, Celine. Celine. Yeah.
I feel like we don't get her name until like 20 minutes into the movie.
Granted, we don't get a lot of information until about 30 minutes in the movie because there were multiple points. And I was paying pretty good attention, but I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Oh, yeah, it was after they had captured the human, and she's dragging him through the sewer, and he thinks that, somehow his magical shirt healed her magical vampire wound or whatever, and he's like, Jonathan looks at me, and he goes, what the fuck is going on? Jonathan, I don't know. I've seen this movie 800 times. I don't know what the hell's going on.
I mean, I figure, like, plot is just a side, like a distraction.
Nobody comes for the plot.
Yeah, it's like porn. I mean,
it's like we came for the edge.
We came from the edge, and we came for shooting holes in floors.
Yeah, what the hell is with vampires and guns too? It's like, you think these hoity-toity, I'm going to preface this by saying throughout this podcast, I think you're going to pick up that I am not a giant fan of vampires. I completely missed that part of like my goth teen years. I went full werewolf the whole way. Which explains a lot about me. And so, like, yeah, spoiler alert, the end of the movie, I was, like, in the theater, yeah, fuck you, vampires, werewolves are the good guy.
Which, that was actually kind of a swerve, because I was like, not to, like, jump ahead to the end, but I was like, I don't think this movie's self-aware enough to pull the slavery metaphor. And it's like, oh shit, they actually went with it.
Yeah.
But the whole thing that, I guess we're just kind of bit bopping around here, that the vampires, this clandestine group of privileged ivory white people exerted their power and strength and influence over a deferential race.
Yeah, they try their best to make that race look like the savages. And I was like, this movie was accidentally very woke for 2003.
It's 2003 woke.
Yeah, which is, I was like, okay, come through, okay.
Now, what I was going to say is that even though the vampires have guns, going back to that, I was kind of hoping that instead of just using bullets, they just pulled their fangs out, loaded it into the magazine, and shot that. And the fangs just grow right back.
I want the werewolves to shoot tiny wooden stakes at them, too. Like, the werewolves also have guns, but they're, like, literally just little stakes. And don't be like, oh, well, it could have been a bow and arrow. No, it has to be a gun. This is 2000, okay? How many times do I have to stress this to you? It had to be a gun.
Or what if they did? What if you just you see them cock their fists and they just shoot their fingernails like bullets?
No, you mean well, we won't get into the sword hand yet.
The arm sword.
Arm sword.
But yeah, I kind of wanted them to be fucking Megazords, but that's just me.
Either way, like the werewolves.
The werewolves and vampires, Megazords. Let's go.
I mean, that's kind of what they were going for in a sort of a way. They're like, oh, the only one who can stop this war is a slightly more blue vampire at the end. Okay, jumping towards the end again. I was so hyped. Like in the middle of the movie, oh man, we're going to see a hybrid. Half vampire, half werewolf. Oh, it's going to look cool, And then you just get Nightcrawler from the X-Men.
Yeah, but like Dollar Tree Nightcrawler.
Yeah, like this dude.
No tail, no like weird symbols on his body, no homoerotic tension with Wolverine.
No, you just get Dollar Tree Nightcrawler, who was carried through the boss fight by Selene.
Yeah. And
got enough XP to learn how to hand-to-hand combat, at the very end there.
Yeah, I just love how his werewolf senses just kick in. It like when he falls out of a building, he just like learns to land on his feet like a dog normally does, I guess. And then I got kung fu skills. Meanwhile, this geezer just Superman punches me in the fucking mud puddle.
You didn't know that wolves are known for landing on their feet, Jonathan?
No, I didn't.
Well, there you go.
I learned something.
They also have 9 lives, is what I'm told.
Oh, okay.
Because all wolves are descended from Fenrir, and Fenrir comes from Viking mythology, and Viking mythology has a lot of connection with the number 9, so they have 9 lives.
All right. I'm a little too drunk to get into that.
Also, didn't Freya have like a sled of cats?
She had 2 cats that pulled her sled, yes. But when Odin created the world, he created 2 wolves, Frecky and Jerry. So dogs came first.
Welcome to the Viking cast, everybody.
It's always the Viking cast when I'm on it, Patrick.
The Viking cast is coming soon.
All right.
Give us an excuse.
Gonna swerve back to whatever the fuck happens in this movie.
So, I do think it's cool how we get, the action hogging opening, where there's, a lot of incoherent gunfights and teeth and fangs and claws. And then we were kind of put into what is known with vampires, which is, a lot of just pen and paper bureaucratic, backbiting bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just basically office politics. That is the most boring fucking white shit I've ever heard.
Well, she even calls him a bureaucrat. She's like, he's a bureaucrat, not a warrior, like me.
And the guy has the nerve to call himself Craven. We literally have Craven the Hunter in our basement wall
Craven,
over here.
God.
My vampire name would just be Maurice or something.
And the first the first few minutes after the gunfight, everyone is just so goddamn extra. I can't handle this. She's just like, there's something going on here. And then he's like, what? There's nothing going on here. I look like a discount Scott Stapp. With arms wide open.
There's not 1 ounce of skullduggery going on in my coven. And
not at all.
That remark.
No ruffians.
And on top of that, they're just dropping mumbo jumbo that we have no context for. This is like, the awakening of the Malachi will come in a couple days while the Lycans get ready for the eternal blood feud.
Well, which is weird because they keep saying, like, oh, blah, blah, blah is going to happen in 2 or 3 days, but we never see the sun rise once. For all we know, this all takes place in a single night.
I mean, honestly, I think it's just like a post-apocalypse.
Like, it's sort of like they just blotted out the sun like in the Matrix, and they're just like, it's just perpetual night.
Yes. Which, I mean, this movie is basically Matrix, but supernatural. And they traded the color blue for substance.
Hot take from Jugular
Hot
Jonathan.
take.
The Underworld is more substantive than the Matrix.
No, I was actually saying the opposite.
Yeah.
But it can be reversed as well.
Or maybe for the later Matrixes.
We're not going to talk about that.
That was the first movie I ever walked out of.
The
third Matrix.
The third Matrix?
Because that one's objectively poopy poo-poo butt juice.
Very well spoken, very well put, Jonathan.
Yeah, because there's weird awkward sex in one of the Matrices, and there's weird awkward sex in the next Underworld movie.
Oh yeah. Oh, who could forget that classic scene of cliffhanger sex? Wait, no spoilers. Jonathan hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah,
Wait, does like the movie end on just like
no,
fucking...
literally they're fucking on a cliff, like hanging off.
Like you just
what?
You just have to wait. There's some
Just
really
wait.
weird sex in Underworld
You
too.
want to know like how this movie was like dipping its toes into the water of like how weird and just eccentric and over the top can we make these like slow motion, don't know how to use doorknobs vampires? Well, they go full throttle with it in the next couple.
It's just like her arc throughout the entire movie, how to use fucking doors.
She has to. She's 600 years old and she doesn't know how to open the door. She kicks open.
She does open one at the end.
Yeah,
it's character development.
Character development.
Yeah.
The character arc is complete.
The end.
Selena learned how to open a door.
I don't know if I just blanked out in the middle of the movie and just went somewhere else and came back at the end, but like the whole family, like Victor killed her mom, but then his own daughter, and like it was really convoluted.
It had no right to be.
And was she? I was like, what is the connection with her and him? He just killed her family for no reason.
I think what the bit was that Celine, Kate Beckinsale, has this connection with Victor, one of the leading vampires, who's played by the very hammy Bill Nye. Is that she was told that a random Lycan slaughtered her family.
Right.
And then swerve at the end, it's revealed that the guy, the Grampy Vampy that sired Kate Beckinsale into a vampire, he's the one that actually killed her family because he got tired of just sucking cows, so he's just like, just drink people, and he's like, oh fuck, there was one left, let me just spin this ball of yarn and just like make her one of my vampire followers.
Yeah, and I wasn't really sure, was it because she looked like his dead daughter, or and then how did she get those memories? Was it because he was her sire? I don't know. I'm thinking way too hard about leather-clad vampire.
Yeah, because vampires apparently, instead of just talking, they just think really hard, and when they squeeze their blood in the vampire mouth, and that just transfers their memory.
Yeah, but they have to think real long and hard. I don't get it.
I guess because they're so emo and they're so dejected they can't speak, so they just let the blood do the talking for them.
Well, that's such a vampire thing. It's like, yeah, we're 800 years old and haven't learned that corsets aren't comfortable. So let's just sit here and think of the edgiest way to express ourselves instead of making bands like normal teens do. Like, human teens are better at expressing themselves on Twitter than vampires are after 800 years of being alive. Okay.
All the blood is just cut off from their brain because the corset just like mashes it down to their feet.
I was like, come on. You're better than this. We've learned that yoga pants exist. You can kill people, be sort of stylish, and comfortable at the same time.
Fashionable and functional.
Fashionable and you know, what about the leggings that look like leather? Kate Beckinsale. Come on.
But that was the distant past of 2003.
You're right. I forgot this was ancient times. The dark days.
Before the dark times, before the Empire. Also, just total side tangent. why is this bitch fucking hair gross?
That is something, like, watching the movie that was lost on me as a teenager, but watching as an adult, I'm like, why is everyone always wet? Why does nobody wash their hair? She is uncomfortably good looking, except the fact that her hair looks like you could fry bacon with it the entire movie.
She just stepped out of, because it's constantly raining in maybe England, and like she's just I'm surprised no one did get like the flu for 6 weeks, because everybody's just wet the whole movie.
Her hair's soaking wet after she's been inside for question mark amount of time, sitting at the computer, tip tapping away, enhance, and her hair is just sopping wet, and I'm uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to look at this. Pull your hair back. It's bothering me.
It's like if I don't wash my hair for like a day and a half. That's what it looks. It's like really stringy. I'm just like, girl.
It does trigger me back to the.
Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't know.
I mean, I guess they did.
Maybe it's mildew.
They did encompass the goth culture back then, because I had several people in our friend group who also seemed to follow the vampire routine of hair washing rules.
And they smelled kind of funny, and by funny I mean like garbage.
The unwashed meshes of the vampire.
It's okay though, because they also had leather.
I guess sort of like everyone's just being extra and petty, and I'm usually here for that shit. But like, nah, this is just kind of like cringy, especially old homeboy Scott Stapp Craven, Mr. Jawface.
It's just like it's a very like highfalutin stuffy like extra. It kind of feels like an upstairs, downstairs, Downton Abbey. Like everybody's like really snippy and backbiting, but it's just like really pompous.
But through the filter of a 13-year-old boy.
Now compare it to like Interview with the Vampire though, which I cannot watch. I can't get through. Like I said, was never an Anne Rice kid, which if you saw pictures of me at 16, you wouldn't believe me when I said that. No, never an Anne Rice kid. I read the books, could not for the life of me care about them at all. And so I had this friend, the part of the friend group that only wanted to watch that kind of vampire movie where they literally are wearing like the high collar, foofy doofy, wants to fuck his mom vampire. I don't think I've forgotten that, Anne Rice.
Whoops.
But she just read a little bit of Freud and misinterpreted it. That's all.
The excuse was, after so many years, is that really his mom? And I'm just like,
your memory starts to turn after 600 years.
Yeah.
That, and I guess, because every cell in your body is replaced by every 7 years. So
like his whole brain has been replaced several times over by now.
So, I mean, are we all the same person?
Where I was going with that was, I can't. That is kind of the same level of like cringy, pompous to me, except I can't go back and watch those movies. You could not put a gun to my head and say, watch this movie, Liz. I said, no, you're going to have to fucking shoot me. But Underworld, I would watch again, probably. I was going to go somewhere with that, but do I really want to watch it more than one more time? Probably not.
Well, probably not anytime soon.
No, I give it another 10 years before I need to watch it again.
Yeah, like I could go, like I could go my entire life and not see this movie again.
You don't get to say that about Underworld. I was there when the sacred texts were written.
Well, I'm sorry to tell you, Liz, but I'm an atheist.
But it's okay. No one can read what they wrote because it was written in almost black.
It was written in blood.
It's dark blue ink on pitch black paper.
You just have to read the indentations on the page behind it.
I give that a lot of shit, but there's something kind of neat, I guess, that they picked a single color palette for this movie, and they did this a lot, especially back then. It was like a trend. I'm sure people more savvy in films and the working of the films could tell me more about this. Please don't. But it they picked this blue color palette and made the entire movie around it. That's kind of cool, credit where credit's due, instead of just putting a yellow filter on everything like Breaking Bad.
Or like Roderick Rodriguez whenever he makes a movie in Mexico.
It's just yellow filter.
Or the Matrix, because it's like green.
The Matrix was just all green and black.
Or the Saw movies, they were pretty green.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were green.
They were pretty gangrene.
It's another franchise I just couldn't get into.
No, I couldn't either.
I'm very interested to see how Chris Rock reboots it.
Okay, now that I'm gonna watch. That's morbid curiosity for me.
And then watch, you'll be our fucking movie of the year.
I could only hope.
This is probably going to age badly, but I'm laying my cards down now.
Call it now.
He's shooting a shot real early. We don't even know if it's going to come out next year.
It's automatically movie of the year, even if it comes out in 2022. Thanks, COVID.
And just another weird thing of just like how hard history has hit us is like Michael Sheen is like the leader of the werewolves in this movie. Goddamn, that was just a big trip to me because he looks completely different.
Yeah.
Because he's an angel in Good Omens, and ironically enough, a vampire in Twilight.
Oh yeah, he was.
I never watched Twilight.
Well, we watched that last year.
I remember hearing you guys watching Twilight.
God,
I'll never forget that quote. I don't care what kind of mythical beast you are, Jacob. It's snowing. Put on a shirt. Yeah, that's another thing.
Fucking Bella, fucking okay boomers Edward at one point, and it's like,
I kind of feel like Twilight and Underworld kind of have a similar issue. Is that if anybody in this movie would just fuck, there'd probably be a lot less angst.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Vampires and werewolves clearly just need to solve all of their tension by interbreeding. Clearly, though. Like, it's super... They're like the horniest of the races.
I mean, they are. I mean, all they have to do is just hate fuck each other. And it's all over.
This sexual energy. Like,
so it's like, goddamn, fuck already.
Do werewolves go in heat? Like...
No, they have their mating season.
Yeah, but I don't know. There aren't any girl werewolves, are they?
That's another thing. Okay, let me get out the feminist box. Here, just push it up.
Tell us, why aren't there any lady lichens in the Underworlds?
There are. They're just not prominent because there's a theory. Well, in the later Underworlds, you'll see a lot more of them. But there was a theory, and this is not my theory, like, full disclaimer.
But it's a game theory?
It's a game theory. That when you see a lot of, I guess, lady monsters, they're typically portrayed as something more feminine, like even Medusa, and they're portrayed as sleek and feminine, especially early. Like, we didn't start seeing like brutal female characters really predominantly until later. Like, Xena was one of the first times I ever saw a woman just brutalizing people on television. You know, and so female monsters typically took on the forms of it. There's 10 million female vampires, you know, because they wear tight black dresses and, oh, darling, let me suck your blood. But to portray a female as a stereotypical, like, snarling, hulking, frothing at the mouth, like, bestial werewolf. And I know a lot of you are getting hot right now, like, you should. You know? Back then, especially.
You better get your prostates ready, boys.
Back then, especially, was just not a thing. I mean, I'm sure there are instances of it, but it just wasn't as common.
Especially not in any sort of mainstream popular culture.
Because, like, usually you would see, like, you know, like, a lady demon. You see the contrast. Like, all the monsters and demons are like these giant, hulking, like, snarling dudes. And then when there's, like, a lady version of it, they just look like a normal girl.
It's
with,
a
like,
green chick.
Yeah. It had, like, fangs or, like, slightly smaller fangs. And, like,
oh, yeah.
Just, like, a pastel color of the dudes.
I mean, even in, like, Disney movies, if there's a female wolf or horse or something, they're sleeker and smaller, more petite. That's just how they... Because people think feminine, they think small and innocent and helpless sometimes. I mean, not clearly female vampires are not helpless, but they are portrayed more feminine. And so the theory is that the female werewolf goes against every closed-minded person's idea of femininity. So they didn't portray them that often. Think about it, like, you don't, like, it's uncomfortable, I guess, for them to think about this woman just turning into a monster, like an actual monster.
Yeah, you can't fuck that monster.
Yeah,
I mean, you could if you're real brave.
Yeah, if you're not a coward, you know, shout out to all the monster fuckers out there.
Yeah.
Okay, side tangent real quick. What was the monster that made you question your sexuality?
Oh, you know the answer to this. It's Goliath and Demona from Disney's Gargoyles. That was legitimately the moment I was like, oh, I might be bi.
I might be a monster fucker.
Come back to me, because I'm going to need to think on this.
I might have to think about mine, too.
Oh, I'm kind of embarrassed. I knew mine just like right off the top of my head.
No, like, we appreciate the candor here.
Yeah, not to get the sorry for the, I guess, feminist tangent.
No, please.
But that
we had like to go down a serious path in the middle of just like misshapen fuckery of an episode.
Yeah.
We need more feminist tangents for all.
Feminist tangents for all. That being said, I was always a big fan of werewolves. Granted, I wanted to be one. I didn't want to be a nasty, gross underworld one. I wanted to just turn into a wolf, okay? Full disclosure, I was definitely the wolf girl. And how everybody's shitting on horse girls? Well, I was the weird wolf and dragon girl.
Oh, yeah.
God help me. I was 13 and you're the dragon. And there were just dragon stuff everywhere in the mall. Every t-shirt, every Rue 21 t-shirt had dragons all over them. No wonder I got bullied. Thinking back on it, I'll see a picture of myself. I'm like, well, I kind of had that coming.
It's almost like bullying is just natural selection. I mean, they're like I get it. Like, bullying is really bad and we shouldn't do it. But there are some people that full grown adults that I'm like, yo, you didn't get bullied enough, and I want to shove your head in a fucking toilet. Ben Shapiro.
Please don't cancel.
It's obviously his ass wasn't beat enough as a kid. It needs to be rectified today.
Let's rectify that right now. Female werewolves. A symbol?
Let's go, lesbian werewolves.
Wouldn't it make more sense for women to be werewolves? Where a lot of us are affected by the phases of the moon. We're all the spooky bitches.
We had to wait to Ginger Snaps for that.
God, I love that movie too. That needs to be and they made her the gross monster in that movie too. That werewolf was gross.
Well, we need more gross werewolves like the werewolves and dog soldiers.
That movie fucked me up. I'm not going to lie.
That is a good movie.
That movie, I thought I was the only person in the world who had seen this movie because I was way too young to be renting this movie. Found it at Blockbusters. Just snuck it out. I was like, they'll never know. Watched it. It horrified and delighted me because it was so gory.
Oh, it was
just disgusting.
Thank God for the Sci-Fi Channel, right?
And, well, like I said, I found it at Blockbusters. So I aged myself. But, yeah, and then I find out there's this whole subsection of people I fucking love that movie. I'm like, oh, you've seen it too?
Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought y'all meant Small Soldiers.
Oh, the little action figure movie?
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do? And I was like, oh, never mind.
It's a different movie.
Wrong.
We'll have to show you Dog Soldier. It's a
If you haven't seen Dog Soldiers, that'll be a Halloween movie.
That's a Halloween movie. Yeah, put a pin in that one.
It's real gross. But yeah, so I was, when I was 16 and unironically loved the movie. Like I said, even though I knew it was bad, I loved it.
Hey, you own it.
That werewolf, shift at the end always got to me. I was like, yeah, they were the good guys. So I really enjoyed the second one. Yeah. Saw that one in theaters too. On purpose. Paid money for it and everything.
No, I know some people are quick to say Underworld 2 is weaker to the first one, but I think the monster effects in 2 are really dope, especially with that one bad guy with the bat wing spider legs.
Yeah,
that's dope as shit. Man,
speaking of effects, why did they feel the need to constantly? Were they trying to flex their CGI skills with the constant innard? When he's turning into a werewolf and they go inside of him so you can see his ribs shifting.
Slightly shifting?
Yeah, and he doesn't even turn in the cop car, but that's okay because they turn on quote unquote heavy metal music when it's clearly industrial.
Hey, thanks, Netflix. You didn't get your fucking subgenre right. You fucking cowards.
It looks like, I think
fucking casual is subtitling.
Fucking pleb.
I think it's supposed to be his esophagus, but it clearly looks like his sphincter, They're like traveling down. Let's go where no camera's gone before and show you what a werewolf's stomach looks like when he's shifting.
What y'all don't realize is that was actually his gut. They just put an endoscope in his mouth.
That was his actual prostate.
Live footage of Scott Speedman's prostate exam was put into the film.
And then
Roll Tide.
They do it twice more. They do it with the vampire elders being awoken. They're
Because
They show the heart start to beating, and I swear to God, I've seen better heart drawings in like a 14-year-old's Edge notebook.
Well, and the thing is, it's like a lot of times the CGI shots in old movies, they don't hang on it too long because it looks like butt. But like they'll hold on this scene for like, I swear to God, like 30 seconds of just this shitty CGI heart beating.
Which I loved your observation in the movie is that the blood re-waking vampire Bill Nye is like the nos going through the tubes in Fast and the Furious.
Yes, and that should segue us into our movie pitch. Fast and the Furious, where
The Fang and the Furious.
The Fang and the Furious.
Oh wait, what crossover between
Furious?
the Toretto gang and the vampire gang had to unite against a drag racing vampire named, wait for it, Nosferatu.
I'm leaving. Goodbye. That's the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us for this nonsensical episode.
Hey, have you been sitting on that one for a few weeks, Pat?
A little bit. I was waiting for the right moment.
Nosferatu.
You better put a trademark on that.
I mean, he already put like all the TMs on it.
Please don't steal original idea.
Yeah, it's just like those old like caricatures you get at the flea market of like the scrunched up like monster with like the big tiny car with the big like gear shift with just eyeballs bugging out. That's what he looks like.
Like the rat things. Yeah. I can't get over Nosferatu. Like I need a minute after that one. What if this is what happens when they go to space?
Oh fuck. Okay, yes, Fast and Furious is going to space confirmed, but I swear to God there was a space vampire movie.
Oh, yeah. There was! Somebody get the Google. What was that called?
We are about to find this out on air.
Also, another fun thing to Google, all these furry monsters. While one of y'all was looking up space vampire, look up a 1980s comic called Fang and Claw.
Okay. There's a movie from 1985 called Life Force, which looks like Star Trek psychic energy vampires. And it's on HBO Max, so if you have that, give that a shot. I don't know if it's good.
I mean, even a bad horror movie is still good in the right frame of mind.
Well, unless it's boring. That's never fun.
I mean, yeah, we found out the Bad Batch, despite a buck-wild premise, is just boring as hell.
That's the most disappointing thing, I think, when you come to me with like a batshit, no pun intended, like premise, and then can't even make it fun. Like it's a space octopus fighting a remote control like lobster vampire. I don't know, and it's still I'm just like falling asleep in the movie.
Or like drug addicted psychic dolphins.
Yeah, that's from Johnny Mnemonic.
What?
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't seen it. They have.
Yeah,
so.
go back and check out our most recent episode, the best of Keanu Reeves, where you get to hear all about a drug addicted telepathic cyborg dolphin.
All right, well, I feel like I missed out on something by not watching that with you.
Oh, don't feel bad. I did too.
Good God.
Well, we give you the full rundown of that episode.
Yeah, so full segue with that. You can't watch stuff like that and then shit on me for liking Underworld.
Yeah, nobody here is dog shitting on Underworld because like I was waiting to do this because I was wanting to revisit it just personally because I've kind of gotten to a kick where I just want to revisit all the goofy ass like early 2000 action movies like Underworld, Resident Evil, Blood Rain. There's all these dumbass goofy. Oh, and one movie I literally haven't thought about in years, Van Helsing. Also, with Kate Beckinsale.
No, I did see the fucking parody of that called Stan Helsing.
Oh God.
It's bad.
Especially in times like this, you crave nostalgia. Like you crave that feeling that you got when you first saw these movies, and I get it. I think I don't know. Like my overall statement for the movie is, it's bad. It is fun to watch though, especially going into it as an adult. If you've never seen it, please go see it.
I mean, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. If you've never seen it, it's butt crazy. It's cringy. It's awful. Bad CGI, terrible fang prosthetics. Like, how did we forget that?
Yeah. And they're all like trying to fake some sort of British accent, but because of the like dumbass fangs in their mouths, they sound like they got a speech impediment.
Yeah, they all have the bumps or something.
They can't close their mouths all the way, so they're just kind of always like, she's trying to do like the sexy lip part thing, but she can't. No offense, you're beautiful, Kate Beckinsale. Please never change.
Obviously,
just wash your fucking hair.
Obviously, they didn't have a proper fang smith on set for everybody to do their vampire teeth.
Well, no, in the later movies, they legit just turned them into vampires. That's why it got better, because they're real vampires now.
Yeah, they're very method. Just like Charlize Theron cut off her arm for Mad Max.
Well, yeah, they grew back, though. I mean, she's rich. I don't know. Anything's possible if you got money.
She's a fucking lizard.
She's just like Dr. Connor. She just... Or Piccolo. She just...
Surprise!
Regeneration plant. She just socked the dude.
Speaking of, arm sword.
Yeah, like fucking what...
Michael Sheen has a sword arm. Like he just like pops a sword out of his jacket sleeve.
It's a... Yeah, that's... I mean, everybody in the 2000s and 90s had one of those.
Yeah. Like even Bill Nye, just like at the end where he just like pops out 2 random more knives. I feel like it was great that we got to see another iteration of wheel feet versus sword arm in this movie.
Yeah, I mean, blade arm is supremely inferior to the wheel feet. I mean, because what happens to the guy with a blade arm? He fucking dies. Loser. It's wheel feet.
That'll show you.
Because I mean, he could just like get away from the sword arm.
Oh, I did find some fun facts about the movie. The director, Len Wiseman, said he wanted the movie to feel like a living, breathing graphic novel.
Okay.
I think he kind of succeeded in that.
Yeah, I'd give him that.
That apparently there could have been an AU where we could have saw Underworld with a completely different leading woman outside of Kate Beckinsale. We could have had Halle Berry as Celine. God. Or we could have had Mila Jovovich as Celine. No,
God. Just stay with your own franchise. Like, I don't... No, I know people... I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I have never... I like her. She's a great person. Never liked her as an actress. Mila, that is. Just... No.
Yeah.
I locally always wish there would have been a crossover between Resident Evil and Underworld, because it's just like...
It's the same energy.
It's just going to be 2, like, scrawny brunette chicks staring at each other with guns. Like, I'm here for it, though.
Although there was a little bit of a crossover. Apparently Mila Jovovich sang a song for the Underworld soundtrack.
All right.
This is deep lore now. We're getting into the deep mythos now.
And apparently the creators of the movie pitched a crossover with the Blade movies to Marvel Studios.
I mean, that has the same energy,
It's the same energy. It's the same thing.
But Marvel's just like, I think we're going to do our own thing with Blade. Thank you.
Well, Marvel, that was your mistake with the Blade movie.
You could have had it all.
You could have had it. You flew too close to the sun, Marvel.
Also,
you could have been a contender.
Also, the biggest surprise I found about the movie, that the entire budget of the first Underworld movie is equal to the highway chase scene in The Matrix Reloaded.
Good God.
Like that one scene in the second Matrix movie is equivalent to an entire blockbuster movie.
Well, again, you can tell by the $20 CGI scene.
Yeah.
And the fangs they clearly bought at Spencer's. I mean...
Yeah,
God.
Spencer may not have been a sponsor, but Bacardi rum sure was.
Oh, Bacardi rum. Oh, yeah.
Because it has a bat on it.
Nah.
And then, wearing the fucking skin-tight leather that has gills so the farts can escape.
What I want from Underworld in the future is a What We Do in the Shadows style documentary, but with the Underworld character.
I want to see What to Do in the Shadow vampire. They just have, such and cup dart guns.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that is bad, but it's like eating a donut. Like, you shouldn't probably eat 17 of them because there's a sugar rush, but you're gonna do it. So I'm gonna watch this movie. I'm gonna watch all these movies, and I'm gonna continue to love these movies and just get belligerently drunk while watching.
However, one thing we came to a consensus on while watching this movie is vampires, I don't know if you know this, have 3 buttholes. We got the first butthole. It's what you know buttholes for. It's not original. It's the OG.
The OG
But the second...
Original Gooch.
But the second butthole is for fucking handgun ammunition, because they literally start pulling it out of somewhere, and I'm not convinced it's not the second butthole. But then you're like, Jonathan, how can there be 2 buttholes yet a third butthole? And I was like, well, once a fucking vampire reaches Mega Wizard Master Level 60, they get the sword butthole, where they can store fucking swords in, but this time it's in their armpit.
Yeah, because the Bill Nye ancient leader wizard vampire, he just has like an old ass sword he just chops people up with, and which I thought leads to just a great, just like the crescendo of the movie, which really gives you like a peek into the mindset of making it. Because at the end of the movie, Kate Beckinsale is just like, son, it's like my vampire father is fighting my chemistry-less boyfriend. And then just dog punching each other in the mud puddle. And then like he disarms his greatsword and just slapping each other around. And then she like pulls straight up some anime shit, just like some swing. And like she jumps up the air and holds her sword out, and Bill Nye snarls and reavers in displeasure, and then his head just like slides off.
No,
Yo, we screamed.
You forgot the best part where she slowly lifts up the sword so he can see his blood on it.
Yeah,
And
because
then-
they don't, because it's like in fucking Looney Tunes when Wile E. Coyote doesn't look down, he's not going to fall.
His head's not gonna slide off his body at an angle. Yeah, that was the most anime-esque ending to a non-anime fight scene I think I've ever seen.
Liz, it was foreshadowing for the actual Underworld anime.
Good. When did that come out?
2011.
Oh my god.
They were still making Underworld shit in 2011?
No, because the last one was 2006, and then there's a big gap. They made the Underworld anime in 2011 to precursor the recontinuation of the series in 2012, which is Underworld Awakening.
I don't think I ever saw that one.
Wow.
Oh, I guess we're just gonna take that journey together.
Yeah, so
Or I did, and I blocked that out of my memory, which I've ended up doing. I was watching some movie. I can't even remember what it was. And I was like, wait a minute, I've seen that.
it's like, oh, it's all coming back to
Oh
me
no,
now.
I've seen this.
It's like, did I disassociate in this picture here?
Yeah, there was a lot of shit I saw like late high school, early college that I just don't remember. It is that weird period of the early 2010s where like everything that was coming out was forgettable.
Yes. Oh man, there was a gap like right after I graduated high school up until like I left college, I left Tampa, I left everything. Where I remember we saw movies all the time because that's what there was nothing else to do, and I don't remember shit from any of them. I'm like, yeah, I remember paying money to see that, and I couldn't tell you what happened to that movie. I can tell you what the movie poster looked like. I paid money to go see Aragon. Speaking of bad dragon movies.
I'm sorry.
I'm lucky I saw that in school, so I'd have to pay a dime.
God, I
Wait, some teacher subjected you to that?
yeah.
They're supposed to take care of you.
No, she's probably just like, listen, I had a night last night. Y'all watching whatever I pulled out of the DVD closet on a TV that I rolled upstairs. I mean, hell, we watched what was it? League of Extraordinary Gentlemen in class one day.
Oh my god. See, we always watch Space Jam like 47 times in a year.
Space Jam was like, we watched that on like a bus trip from
God,
6th grade.
God, or my fucking senior AP government teacher, she was like out all the time. So we would just watch these movies that would pertain to government. And among those were Inception.
What?
The Source Code, if y'all remember that. It's a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal on a train and he has to stop a bomb. But spoiler alert, he's just a torso the entire movie.
Yeah, it's Groundhog Day with guns on a train with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, okay.
And the twist is he's just a torso.
It doesn't make much more sense in context.
Yeah, it's a shit movie.
Oh, okay.
And then like, and then like the first like 3 seasons of The West Wing. Which, I mean, that does have a lot to do with it.
We watched Independence Day.
Yo.
And that was
would've been
in
lit.
government. And then we watched, oh god, what was it? Armageddon. Yeah.
The one with like the apocalypse movie with Bruce Willis. Oh,
we watched those. This is the only two I remember watching, and I was like, what? What is this supposed to foreshadow?
And then there was like that. Not only was like the late 90s, early 2000s was that weird time of a particular type of cool, but like all the movies that came out around that time just sucked ass.
See, Lord of the Rings came out.
Like that was the let's see, there was those. Fuck.
Get ready to clutch your nerd pearls. I didn't care for those movies, and that might have had something to do with the fact that I absolutely undyingly loved The Hobbit, the book.
Oh, yeah.
I made a giant, like, clay smog for my 6th grade AP class and stuff, but I was dragged to that first Lord of the Rings movie, I think 6 times by the same group of girls that just wanted to scream about Legolas, and I can't watch them anymore. It would be my hell if you put me in a room and you were like, we're going to watch Lord of the Rings. I would leave. You can't make me stay.
See, you would just lure me into a room if you were just going to track me there, if you're just going to play the fucking Lord of the Rings.
That's the common consensus of like most of the people that I know.
Yeah.
That's how, that people were like, what's the one thing you would tweet so people know that you're kidnapped and be like, I can't wait to watch Lord of the Rings again. Come find me.
Yeah, my tweet would be, oh boy, I can't wait to drink this whiskey.
I can confirm.
We all can confirm that.
That night, yeah. Don't get Pat Jack Daniels. Just don't give him any whiskey.
It's going to end up right back in your face.
Somewhere Mel is just cackling maniacally.
And somewhere there's a bar with broken shot glasses that I didn't pay for.
Oh, no, I forgot.
Okay, I must not have been there for that one.
We're not... You're gonna get arrested. Yeah.
So yeah, remember people, vampires have 3 buttholes, one for poop, one for handgun ammo, and one for swords. My name is Jonathan, and that was my TED Talk.
Jonathan is actually a vampirologist.
A vampirologist.
A vampirologist.
In a specificity of anatomy.
All right, so we need to circle back. Now, y'all have had plenty of time to think about the monster that awakened the horny within you.
Oh, God.
Come on now, I put my laundry out there. This is an important question for all you readers out there, because you've all got one. What was it for you? Was it, are you young bloods? You're all thinking of Monster Masume. I know what you're thinking of.
Monster Masume.
You can't hide from me. All right, well, Pat's looking his up. Come on, Jonathan. Oh, they're both looking theirs up. This is an important thing. Because
I know there's something out there. I just can't remember.
I don't know. Wait, hold on. I don't know if he's a monster. Is it? What was the? I don't even know what game he's from. The bull guy, Iron Bull.
Iron Bull, like from Dragon Age?
Maybe.
Oh wow, you had your awakening late.
I'm just trying to think. Like, I don't know.
Big burly big dude. It's like, I remember we saw that cosplayer at Magic City Con of him, and
okay. We did a lot of things at Magic City Con, and I don't know if I'm going to remember all of them.
No, I remember this one because we went to the rave, and I was like, God damn!
God damn!
God, that was a surreal experience.
We could go on a whole show just talking about our recap of that weekend at that
we probably shouldn't. No.
Yeah, that'll be our Patreon episode. Pay us, and we'll tell you about that.
This is an OnlyFans episode.
Yeah,
no, we're not that cool.
Yeah, follow me on OnlyFans at John Lost His Shame, and I'll tell you about that weekend.
It's okay. So, I don't know. There's another one that everybody... Well, of course, Lola Bunny's not exactly a monster.
No, like...
No, that's your furry awakening.
Yeah. I mean, and everyone had that.
Also, I'm just going to say... Anime girls with cat ears are not furries.
No, they're not. That's
just
almost,
cat girls.
That's baby bullshit.
That's a cat girl. Like you want full on like weird hanky leg shit going on.
Yeah, I want a motherfucker that's got 2 knees, one in the front, one in the back.
Penis better be barbed or don't come at me at all. Mother, don't listen to this podcast. Y'all are taking too long, Monster Crush.
Well, because like you said, there's not a lot of like. Or at least for me, anyway. There's not a lot of monster ladies.
Well, Jonathan, what about this monster lady?
Oh, my God. Yes, I would fuck that.
For those that don't know, I looked up a picture of Bigfoot with giant sagging tits.
Fucking orangutan.
But look, she's even wearing blush for you.
God. Those are more like orangutan yams.
It's like she has 2 sweet potatoes hanging off.
Quick, Alexa, how to seduce a Bigfoot?
Can we also segue into talking about how popular like monster girls and guys have gotten? And I'm here for it. We stand monster fucking in this house, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Because like, you
100%.
wouldn't believe how many people in my timeline are like low key and high key horny for monsters.
they're horny on main for monsters now, and I'm just like, that's the thing I'm most proud of the Gen Zers for. I'm like, don't be ashamed. Let it go if you want to fuck a snowman. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Do you want to fuck a snowman?
And it's just like a Yeti with his ass poking out, looking back curiously.
And he's got his butt cheek spread.
It's like, no, we would have found cryptids by now because the clap of their ass cheeks would have alerted all of us to their existence.
It's just like I'm just imagining. Okay, what if there's a new ghost hunting show, but it's for cryptids and they're all just like dudes horny for monsters?
Yeah, you can't Google Mothman without seeing some shit. Let me
Oh,
put it
yeah.
that way.
Mothman. Oh, God. I don't know. I'm
hell, have you
sorry.
seen that-
I'm a little under the influence right
I mean,
now.
have you seen that one picture, or that one statue of Mothman with like the pecs and the 6-pack abs and the ass?
No.
In Point Pleasant, I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah, I've seen the Mothman statue. I just didn't. Oh, yep. Yeah, he's Jack. I forgot.
Fucking himbo Mothman.
Himbo. I would stand a himbo Mothman. Though.
What would the sound of Mothman make? For some reason, I just think it. Yeah.
No, absolutely not.
What, Liz Senpai? What's wrong, Uwu?
I know where you sleep.
It's like, oh, Mothman, juicy squirt.
Ah,
Fuck you!
Turn it off now.
Okay, we done.
All right.
Okay,
Pat, you can't.
Podcast is over.
Pat, you're canceled.
Okay.
You're just canceled.
Cut all
Both-
this shit in your edit, man. They're terrible.
Yeah, I think we.
Oh my god!
God, we just a disaster tonight.
I think we've come as far as we can go.
Yeah, okay, my mic fell. It's late, and we're all feeling it tonight. So I think that's a good time as any to wrap this bitch up.
Closing thoughts. Go watch Underworld.
Yeah, don't.
I know we didn't talk about it much, but it's fun.
It's not, I mean, we were trying to dig for substance in something that has very little of it. But no, go watch Underworld. Go take a nostalgia trip if you've seen it. Go subject yourself to it if you haven't.
And let us know if you want us to continue the Underworld retrospective, because I'm just reckless and suggestible enough to start another concurrent deep dive movie series.
And I absolutely do not apologize for suggesting this one.
Oh no, not at all. This was
No,
super
this
fun.
was a blast.
Well, thank you guys for having me again.
Oh,
It's
well,
been
we
a
love
lot of
having you.
fun.
I'm sorry it's been so long, and now that we know how to have you on and keep the doggies pleased, we may be able to have you on in the near future. So thank you for coming on, Liz. Thank you all for listening. You can follow us on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, Google Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, and any RSS feed catchers. We're there. Please be so kind as to leave a review, leave a like, subscribe, share it with your friends. That really does help us out, keeps the show going, keeps the show alive. I mean, we be here whether you be talking about it or not, but it helps just put us out there in front of more people. We really do appreciate that. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter, AYCH Podcast. You can follow us on Facebook and Letterboxd at All You Can Hear. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/All You Can Hear. And all our VODs live in perpetuity on YouTube, which is also at All You Can Hear. And lastly, you can follow me, Patrick, on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at John Lost His Name. You can follow me on Facebook at John Lost His Name Art. And now, Jonathan and Liz, they will give you your plugs.
My name is Jonathan. You can follow me on Twitter at JONIIBOI24 and John Odinson Letterboxd. John Odinson 12 on Letterboxd. I'm sorry, guys. I'm feeling it, Mr. Krabs.
My name is Liz, and you can follow my art account on Instagram at Fantastabad. That's Fantasty and Bad, all one word. Or Facebook at I Had an Artsident.
Thank you very much for listening. Take care of yourselves. We'll be talking to you very, very soon. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, sluts.
Bye.